I want you to do something for me right now. Just, if you're listening to this on your phone, unlock it for a second. Look at that screen. What do you actually see?
Just a wall of notifications, right? Red dots everywhere.
Exactly. It's just demand. You see 1,000 little digital hands reaching out, trying to grab your eyeballs. Buy this shoe. Read this hot take. Be angry about this politician. Watch this cat fall off a ledge. It is just relentless.
Yeah, it's the attention economy at its absolute breaking point. It's basically just white noise at this stage.
Pure white noise. And honestly, I think we've all become a little numb to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you scroll, but you don't really feel anything. It's a reflex. But now, and stay with me here, I want you to pause that image. Wipe the slate clean. I want to take you back to the real world. Imagine you're 10 years old again. You're standing in the vestibule of a grocery store, or maybe a local arcade.
Oh, I can smell the floor wax and the popcorn already.
Right. And there's a machine sitting there, just a red metal box on a stand. You've got a quarter or maybe a customized arcade token just sweating in your palm.
Mm-hmm.
You put it in the slot. You reach out, you grab that cold chrome knob, and you turn it. Quick, click, click, click.
The gotcha moment.
The gotcha moment. You hear the gears grind. You hear a plastic capsule tumble down the chute. Thunk. And in that split second, before you even open the plastic shell, before you know if you got the sticky hand or the rare sticker,
How you feel?
you're completely engaged. I mean, it's visceral. It's this tiny physical dopamine spike that a digital banner ad just cannot replicate that.
And that is exactly the premise we are testing today. We're asking a question that might sound completely backwards for a tech show. What if the future of the internet, the metaverse, Web3, the cutting edge of where we are today, February 20, 2026, doesn't rely on better graphics or faster processors? What if the secret to winning the digital future is actually going offline?
It sounds like Luddite talk, doesn't it? Like literally telling the tech industry to go touch grass. It really does. It sounds like we're giving up.
Yeah.
But we have a stack of research here today that says otherwise. We're doing a deep dive into some brand new data from Dapperdar's Q3 2025 report, some really detailed infographics on user retention, and this fascinating manifesto on what they're calling the phygital loop. That's physical plus digital. And it suggests this isn't just nostalgia, it's actually survival.
It's strictly business. And looking at the source material, I think it's the only way the industry survives the current bottleneck it's facing.
So welcome to the deep dive. Our mission today is to explore how moving offline might be the smartest way to win online. Whether you're in marketing, you're a developer, or you're just a gamer, this represents a massive shift in how we value digital ownership. It's about turning a generic wallet holder into a real human connection. So looking at these sources, my first question to you is pretty simple. Are we dead yet?
Dead? No.
Because I remember 2022. I remember the massive hype cycle and then the crash. And looking at the charts today, it definitely looks different.
It is different, but dead is the wrong word entirely. Sober is better, or mature. If you look at the Dapperdar figures we have here for Q3 2025, the headline number is 4.66 million daily unique active wallets.
Right, 4.66 million.
And that is just for gaming.
Okay, let's do a reality check on that number for a second.
Okay.
Is that actually a lot? Because if you look at the broader gaming world like Candy Crush or Roblox, 4 million is basically a rounding error. Roblox has that many people logging in while they're eating breakfast.
That's a fair point. If you compare it to Web2 giants, it is still niche. But you have to compare it to the rest of the Web3 landscape. The report shows the total unique active wallets across the entire decentralized ecosystem. So we're talking DeFi, NFTs, social protocols, identity is 18.7 million.
So gaming makes up, what is that, about 25%?
Roughly, yeah.
Sure.
It is a massive slice of the entire pie. It's arguably the only sector that has actual consumer retention outside of pure financial speculation. People are actually logging in to do something, not just to trade something and leave.
Right.
But, and here's where your skepticism is definitely warranted, there is a red arrow on this Dapperdar chart.
Yeah, I saw that. A 4.4% drop quarter over quarter.
Exactly.
So if I'm a VC or I'm a developer pouring my life into building a Web3 game right now, and I see the user base shrinking by almost 5% in a single quarter, I'm sweating. Why aren't you sweating?
Because I know what fueled the previous spikes.
You mean the bots?
Bots and speculators. Look, when a market goes up in a straight vertical line, that isn't real growth. That's a bubble. It's just hype. It's people chasing a quick flip on an asset. A 4.4% drop actually tells me that the tourists have finally left. The people who are just clicking buttons to farm an airdrop are gone because the easy money dried up.
So what's left behind?
The 4.6 million people who are actually playing the games.
Okay, so it's a distillation process. We're boiling off all the water to get down to the actual syrup.
Precisely. It's a sign of a mature market. Real markets breathe. They have seasonality. They have dips. If this chart were just flatlining or skyrocketing indefinitely, I would be much more worried. The fluctuation proves it's established enough to behave like a legitimate industry with natural cycles.
Okay, I'll buy that. We are out of the Wild West phase and into the actual industry phase.
Yeah.
But let's look at the tech itself. Because back in 2021, playing a crypto game was frankly painful. It was slow, it was incredibly expensive, and half the time the network just crashed. Has that actually changed, or are we just telling ourselves it's gotten better?
The data says it has changed fundamentally. Let's look at the infrastructure breakdown in the report. It highlights 3 key trends driving the market. First, mobile adoption is at 55%.
Which, frankly, I feel like should be higher.
It should be, but you have to remember the context. The major app stores fought this tooth and nail for years. They blocked NFT integration, they blocked external wallets. Getting 55% of Web3 gaming activity onto mobile devices means the App Store walled garden has finally crumbled. Gaming is happening in the palm of the hand now.
That's a huge win for accessibility.
It is, but the bigger number is the second trend. Layer 2 dominance is at 70%.
Okay, for the listener who knows, Layer 2 is a buzzword, but maybe doesn't really understand why it matters for gaming specifically. Why is this the metric you're focusing on?
Because it comes down to cost and speed, period. Think of Ethereum mainnet Layer 1 as a highway, a very secure, very established highway. But during rush hour, the toll to drive on it is $50.
Which is fine if I'm moving $1 million of Bitcoin or something. Not fine if I'm trying to buy a digital sword for $2. Yeah.
Exactly. You literally cannot run a functioning game economy if the transaction fee costs more than the item itself. Layer 2 solutions, things like Arbitrum, Base, Immutable, these are essentially express lanes built on top of that highway. They bundle thousands of transactions into one. The toll drops to pennies.
So if 70% of activity is happening there.
It means the infrastructure is finally cheap enough and fast enough to support actual gameplay loops, not just high-stakes trading.
Got it. And the third trend in the report.
Cross-chain interoperability is at 40%.
Meaning the walled gardens are breaking down between the different networks too.
Slowly, yes. It means your digital assets aren't permanently trapped on one single chain. You can move things around. So if we recap the State of the Union for early 2026, the tech works. It's fast, it's cheap, it's on mobile, and we have millions of core dedicated users.
Which sounds fantastic. It sounds like developers should be winning right now.
They really should be.
But they aren't. Not really. Because I'm looking at this next piece of source material, this infographic titled Why Most NFT Campaigns Fail, and it is just a graveyard. It's a brutal look at how hard user acquisition is right now.
It really is. This brings us to the core conflict we're unpacking today. The tech finally works, but the marketing is fundamentally broken. The old way of getting new people into these games just doesn't function anymore.
Let's break down the 3 killers of campaigns listed in the source. Because if you are listening to this and trying to launch anything in 2026, you have absolutely felt this pain. The first killer is low attention.
Or what we call the endless scroll. The source notes that the average dwell time on a digital ad for a Web3 product is under 5 seconds.
5 seconds, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you've lost them.
And think about the environment where they see these ads. If you are scrolling X or Discord or Telegram, you aren't in a discovery mindset. You are in a dopamine hit mindset. You're constantly filtering out noise.
Right.
And almost every drop announcement looks identical. It's all just, new collection, minting now, super rare. Click here.
It's banner blindness. To a player, a drop is just viewed as one more link in a sea of links. It all blends into that gray sludge of content. You just swipe past it because your brain identifies it as an ad before you even consciously read the text.
Exactly. You simply cannot get their attention. But let's play devil's advocate. Let's say you do. Let's say you make a piece of content so compelling, a trailer so good, that people actually stop and click. That leads you directly into the second killer. And this is the one that destroys economies. Bot pressure.
Ah, the bots. And we aren't talking about harmless chatbots here. We're talking about sophisticated scripts.
We are talking about industrial scale value extraction.
Paint the picture for me. Say I launch a game. I put out a post saying, hey, the first 1,000 people to join our Discord and click this link get a free starter pack. What actually happens?
Within milliseconds, literally before a human finger could possibly tap a screen, a script running on a server in a basement somewhere detects that smart contract going live. It automatically generates 900 fresh wallets. It executes the claim transaction 900 times in a row.
So I'm sitting there looking at my developer dashboard, and I go, wow, 900 new players in 10 seconds. We're going viral.
But you have zero players. You have one guy with a script who now owns 90% of your entire starter supply. And what is he going to do with it?
He's going to dump it.
He dumps it on the open market instantly to make a quick profit. Resources are depleted by scripts, not people.
So he crashes the floor price of my token or my item, and the 100 actual legitimate human beings who showed up?
They get completely diluted, their items are worthless, they get wrecked, and they leave. You have essentially burned your entire marketing budget just to pay off a bot farm. You get zero sustainable community growth.
It's like throwing a pizza party for your friends, and before anyone can eat, a swarm of mechanical locusts flies through the window, eats all the pizza, bites your friends, and leaves.
That is a terrifyingly vivid image, but yes, that is exactly what happens. It ruins the experience for the real community members.
And then we have the third killer. Let's say, by some miracle, I beat the 5-second attention span. And let's say I put up anti-bot measures so the scripts can't get in. I have a real human being who wants to play my game. What stops them?
Low completion, or, as the industry calls it, friction.
The silent killer of Web3.
The source states it very plainly. Friction kills conversion. And in Web3 gaming, friction is basically the default setting. Think about the onboarding flow for a standard traditional Web2 game right now. Step 1, download the game. Step 2, play the game.
Right, simple.
Now look at the Web3 flow outlined here. Step 1, download a third-party wallet extension. Step 2, write down a 12-word seed phrase on a piece of paper and hide it in your sock drawer. Step 3, go to a centralized exchange. Step 4, complete KYC and buy Ethereum. Step 5, bridge that Ethereum over to layer 2. Step 6, connect your wallet to the game site. Step 7, sign a transaction you don't really understand just to mint your starter character.
I am exhausted just listening to you list those out. It's a 12-step tutorial just to start having fun.
Exactly. You've lost 90% of your potential users by step 3. Users abandon the flow before minting because they just want to play a game, not manage a cryptographic bank vault.
So we have a very clear, very grim problem laid out here. The old way, the online-only digital drop, is hitting a massive wall of diminishing returns. You can't just shout louder on social media because nobody is listening. You can't give away free promotional stuff because the bots steal it all. And you can't rely on the tech to sell itself because the onboarding is too complex for a casual user.
Summarized perfectly. The digital channel is saturated, and it's openly hostile to organic growth. Wasted budgets, diluted brand value, and frustrated players.
So what do? Do we just pack it up? Do we accept that Web3 gaming is only ever going to be for this highly technical elite crowd?
No, we pivot. And this is where the deep dive really gets interesting. We have this manifesto in our source stack today. It's titled Phygital, Physical plus Digital, and it makes a very bold argument. It says that offline beats online.
Which is a huge counterintuitive claim for a digital gaming industry to make. To grow a digital game, you need to go outside.
It is. But the solution it proposes, this phygital loop, starts with a piece of hardware that looks like it belongs in an arcade from 1995, not a tech hub in 2026.
You're talking about the NFT distributor?
Or, as I like to think of it, the ultimate Trojan horse for onboarding.
Okay, let's describe this device for the listener.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the schematic and the photos from the source material, and it's not what you'd expect. It's not some high-tech, screen-heavy growing kiosk. The first thing I notice is there's no power cord.
No power cord, no batteries required, no Wi-Fi chip inside it.
It is a fully mechanical vending machine.
It's the Hoken Tech NFT distributor. It's compact, it's portable, and it's a sleek glass and metal capsule dispensing system. You put a physical coin or a token in, you turn the mechanical crank, you get a physical capsule.
Okay, so it's decidedly low-tech. Why on earth is a low-tech box the solution to a high-tech digital onboarding problem? Let's run this machine through the 3 killers we just talked about.
Yeah.
Killer number 1 was low attention, the 5-second scroll.
Right. Think about the dynamic. When you are physically standing in front of this machine in a venue, say, on a counter at a gaming bar or a comic book shop or a festival booth, what are you doing?
Well, I'm just standing there. I'm looking at the machine, trying to see what's inside the glass globe.
Are you scrolling away to another tab?
No, I have no other tabs. I'm captive.
Exactly. Captive attention. It eliminates digital distractions entirely. Your dwell time goes from under 5 seconds on a timeline to 30 seconds, maybe a full minute, just inspecting the physical object. You have 100% of the user's focus.
Okay, that makes sense. It anchors you in the real world.
Yeah.
What about killer number 2? The bots. The scripts draining the marketing budget.
This is honestly my favorite concept in the entire source stack. The manifesto lays it out so simply. Bots can't spin a physical knob.
It is so stupidly simple, but it's bulletproof.
It really is. Think about the security implications here. The industry spends millions of dollars developing proof of humanity software. We use invasive ID scans. We make people click on endless grids of traffic lights and fire hydrants to prove they aren't scripts.
Right.
But physical presence acts as the ultimate proof of humanity without needing any of that invasive tech. If a physical hand turns that mechanical knob, it is a human being. Full stop.
You've essentially built a physical firewall. That bot farm running in the basement can't spoof a real-world coin drop in a cafe in Seattle.
Precisely. So now every single reward you distribute through that machine goes to a real person. Zero dilution. You get 100% efficiency on your acquisition spend.
And what happens when someone engages with a physical object in a public space?
Social proof kicks in.
Right. When someone turns that crank, it makes noise. It's visual. Other people in the bar or the comic shop turn and watch.
Exactly. It builds trust and it builds curiosity. It generates FOMO, fear of missing out, in a way that a private click on a smartphone screen in your bedroom never can. If you see 3 people laughing and opening capsules at a booth, you're going to walk over and see what it is.
That brings us to killer number 3, friction. The 12-step nightmare. How does a mechanical gotcha machine solve digital friction?
This is where the psychology gets really fascinating. The phygital loop completely flips the order of operations for onboarding.
Walk me through it.
In the old way, you have to do all the hard work first. You have to set up the wallet, secure the seed phrase, pay the gas fees, all before you get the fun thing, the game item.
All right, eat your vegetables, then you get dessert.
In the phygital loop, you do the fun thing first. The source breaks it down into 5 steps. Step 1, stop. Something catches your eye in a physical venue.
The machine itself.
Step 2, do. A simple physical action. You pay your money, you turn the knob, clunk, click. Step 3, get. You get a tangible reward. You hold the capsule, you pop it open.
So I'm already happy. I have the physical dopamine hit.
Yes. And inside that capsule is a secure QR code. The instructions just say, scan this to claim your digital loot. That's the QR-based claiming system. Secure, instant NFT claiming inside the capsule.
So I'm already emotionally invested. I'm literally holding the item in my hand. So when I scan that code, I'm much more likely to go through whatever steps are required because I want to save the thing I already feel like I own.
Exactly. This mimics the dopamine loop of mainstream games, but applies it to the user acquisition process itself. It leverages a psychological concept called the endowment effect. We value things higher simply because we feel ownership over them. The wallet setup isn't a massive barrier anymore. It just becomes the final necessary step to secure your loot.
It reframes the whole process. It turns the wallet from this scary gateway into a save point for your progress.
A save point. I like that phrasing. That's exactly what it is.
And the loop doesn't end there, right?
Yeah.
It's the source has 2 more steps.
All right. Step 4 is share. People naturally film things that look fun. So they pull out their phones, they film themselves turning the knob and opening the capsule. That generates authentic user-generated content, which is marketing gold.
And step 5.
Return. The retention kicks in because that digital asset you just claimed grants you access or perks in the game, pulling you back into the ecosystem.
This all sounds incredibly cohesive. But let's play devil's advocate again here. Because I know there are listeners right now screaming at their speakers. They're saying, it's just a vending machine. It's a gimmick. How do you sell this to core gamers who fundamentally hate the word NFT? They hear NFT and they immediately think scam.
And they aren't entirely wrong to feel that way given the history. That's why positioning is so critical here. The source material has a whole section on this. Rule number 1, you do not call it an NFT vending machine.
What do you call it?
You frame it as a loot moment you can touch.
Loop moment.
Yes. You connect it to concepts and psychology that gamers already know and love. They love gotcha mechanics. They love loot boxes, drops, rarity tiers, collections. You lean into that language. The pitch isn't buy a blockchain asset. The pitch is this is a limited drop. It's claimable in seconds, and it's yours to keep.
You're translating the tech into their native language.
Exactly. You strip away the financialized jargon.
But the strategy has to go beyond just selling digital art JPEGs in a plastic ball, right?
Yeah.
If developers just use this to sell overpriced character skins, it is just a gimmick.
Absolutely. And the source document agrees. It breaks down 4 specific game-native use cases. These are strategies for how developers should actually use this hardware to solve deep game design problems.
Let's dig into those because this is where the theoretical meets the practical. Use case number 1 is event proof plus social status.
Right. Think of it as the ultimate proof of tournament or a founder at Booth X badge.
Now, why does a game developer actually care if I can prove I was at a physical event?
It's about retention and community solidification. Imagine a massive esports final, 10,000 people in an arena. The developer puts a distributor right by the entrance. Everyone who attends gets to turn the knob and get a capsule. Inside is a code for a unique 2026 finals badge.
Okay, so I scan it.
You scan it, and now that badge floats permanently next to your character's name in the online game lobby.
So it's cosmetic.
It is, but it's about identity, not financial value.
Yeah.
You can't sell this badge on a marketplace. It's what the industry calls soul-bound. It's locked to you, but it gives you immense social status. It proves you are a hardcore day one fan.
It's basically the digital equivalent of wearing a vintage concert tour t-shirt.
Exactly. It turns the physical attendee into a walking digital billboard. Every time that person plays online, they are signaling to other players, hey, this game is real. People go to giant arenas for it. It builds incredible legitimacy for the brand.
That makes a lot of sense. Moving to use case number 2, access passes. The source frames this as a retention tool.
Think about how game studios handle closed betas right now. You sign up on a website, and a month later, they just email you a string of text. It's completely frictionless, sure, but it's also completely emotionless.
Yeah, half the time it just sits in my spam folder and I forget I even signed up.
Right. Now imagine you're at a gaming cafe, and the capsule you get from the distributor contains a physical heavy metal key card, and on the back of that card is a QR code. That code unlocks a private scrim queue for competitive players, or it gives you access to a beta server or a VIP developer Discord.
So ownership becomes the literal key to an experience, not just a receipt of purchase.
Exactly. You are giving the player something exclusive to do. The physical object becomes a functional part of the digital ecosystem.
Use case number 3 really caught my eye. Crafting ingredients. The source says this is for economy health. This feels like it solves a massive problem in MMOs.
The inflation problem. It's the bane of every game economy designer.
Explain that for the listener who hasn't managed a virtual economy.
In most massively multiplayer online games, you have the issue of infinite supply. If a boss drops a magic sword and players kill that boss 10,000 times a day, eventually everyone has the magic sword. The market floods, and the sword becomes completely worthless.
Supply outweighs demand.
Right. So instead of putting the finished magic sword into the physical distributor machine, the developer puts a digital crafting ingredient in there, say, a chunk of digital ore or a rare herb.
Or a resource.
Exactly, a consumable resource. The player gets the capsule, takes the code home, logs into the game, and they have to burn or combine those items in-game to craft something new.
Why is that smart?
Because it solves the infinite supply problem. When the player crafts the item, the raw materials are destroyed. They leave circulation entirely. It acts as a continuous sink for the economy, keeping it healthy and preventing inflation.
So the physical machine acts as the faucet for the raw materials, bringing them into the world, but the game mechanics act as the sink, draining them out.
Yes. And crucially, it forces the user to actually play the game to extract the value. You can't just flip the unopened capsule on a secondary market. The real utility is unlocked through gameplay. It deeply connects the physical acquisition directly to digital labor.
That is really elegant design. Finally, we have use case number 4, partner venue quests. The source labels this as an acquisition strategy. This sounds a bit like Pokemon Go.
It shares that DMA, but it's much more targeted. Imagine a game studio partnering with 5 specific local businesses, say 3 gaming cafes and 2 comic shops in a major city.
Okay.
The studio creates a real-world scavenger hunt. The quest is collect 3 unique drops from these specific venue distributors to unlock an exclusive mount skin in the game.
So now I am not just passively clicking ads on my couch. I am physically traveling across the city. I'm walking into these businesses. I'm probably buying a coffee or a comic while I'm there. I'm engaging with the community in real time.
And the venue owner loves it because you are driving highly targeted foot traffic directly into their store. The player loves it because marketing has become an actual quest, not an interruption. And the game studio gets incredibly high intent, active users. It's a win-win-win.
Marketing becomes a quest, not an ad. I love that phrasing.
Yeah.
But look, we are a deep dive. We pride ourselves on being data-driven. All of this sounds amazing in theory, but we need to know if this actually works better than traditional methods. Because frankly, smiles per hour is not a metric that a marketing director can take to their boss.
No, it's not. You need hard numbers. And thankfully, the source material provides 4 very specific performance metrics to benchmark this strategy.
Let's walk through the specific metrics provided.
Yeah.
How do we know if this offline approach actually beats a standard Facebook ad campaign? First up on the list is redemption rate.
This metric measures the ratio of physical capsules dispensed from the machine versus the digital NFTs actually claimed via the QR code. The benchmark provided in the source is 75%.
75%, that seems incredibly high.
It is astronomically high when you compare it to digital standards. Think about an email marketing campaign. A good open rate is maybe 20%. A good click-through rate on a digital ad is under 1%.
So why is the redemption rate here so massive?
Because of the physical engagement, the sunk cost. You walked up to the machine, you paid your money or used your token, you turned the heavy knob, you are physically holding the object in your hand, you have incredibly high intent. You are highly motivated to finish the loop and scan the code.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Next metric to watch, activation rate.
This measures claims versus in-game actions within 24 to 72 hours. The benchmark here is 60%.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. That means more than half of the people who claim the item from the capsule actually log into the game and do something with it within a couple of days.
Exactly. They equip the cosmetic, they trade the resource, they use the access pass. This is crucial because it proves you aren't just acquiring passive collectors who stick the NFT in a wallet and forget about it. You are acquiring active players.
You're converting physical curiosity into digital utility.
Third metric on the board is D7 retention, day 7 retention. And this is really the holy grail metric for any game developer. It measures the retention of holders, people who got the physical drop, versus non-holders after 7 full days. The benchmark sitting right here is 85%.
Wow. 85% retention after a week. Most mobile games lose 90% of their players by day 3.
Exactly. It goes right back to the endowment effect we talked about. Because the player physically engaged with the acquisition process, because they hold that tangible reminder on their desk, they value the digital asset more, they feel deeply invested.
This is the aha moment, isn't it? The physical holders actually stick around.
It's the proof that the phygital loop creates long-term value, not just a temporary spike in wallet addresses.
And the final metric from the source, venue conversion.
This is a localized metric. It measures claims per hour at a specific physical location. The benchmark given is 50% of foot traffic engaging with the machine.
That helps you optimize, right? You can look at the data and say, okay, the machine at the comic shop is doing 60% conversion, but the machine in the hotel lobby is only doing 10%.
Precisely. It lets you treat real-world placements with the same analytical rigor you'd apply to digital A/B testing. You double down on the venues that work.
Looking at these numbers, it's pretty staggering compared to the traditional digital marketing funnel we discussed earlier.
It justifies the logistical effort of going offline. Moving physical machines around is harder than running a script, but the quality of the user you get is exponentially higher.
So let's start synthesizing all of this. We started this deep dive looking at the macro data. 4.66 million daily active wallets, a maturing user base that's shedding the tourists and the bots, evidenced by that 4.4% dip.
Right.
We looked at the problem. The old way is broken. Digital friction, low attention spans, and bot armies are destroying marketing budgets.
And then we explored the solution, the Hoken tech distributor and the phygital loop, using physical presence to completely bypass digital noise.
So we tie it all back to that daily unique active wallet argument from the beginning. What is the ultimate takeaway for a developer listening to this?
You have to remember that Web3 gaming is big enough for experiments now, but it's still volatile. You absolutely cannot rely on hoping your digital drop goes viral on X. Viral is not a strategy. You need repeatable, reliable acquisition channels.
And physical events and partnered venues are repeatable.
Exactly. You can schedule them, you can budget for them, you know exactly what your local footprint looks like.
And let's recap the user journey, because the contrast is really the whole point here. The old way. You're staring at a tiny screen, fighting bad Wi-Fi, in a noisy digital environment, feeling pressured to figure out a complex 12-step wallet tutorial before a timer runs out.
Versus the new way. A physical ritual, the tactile satisfaction of turning a crank, the social proof of doing it in public. And then,
And then, only when you are completely ready, you step into digital ownership. The goal is to make the wallet part happen after the emotional connection is already secured.
that is the core lesson of the entire manifesto. Technology works best when it anchors itself in natural human behavior rather than fighting against it.
We like touching things.
We do. We like collecting things. We like showing physical objects to our friends. We hate CAPTCHAs, we hate forced tutorials, and we hate lag. The Hoken tech distributor and this whole shift toward digital marketing is just acknowledging that basic human reality.
I love that.
Yeah.
It feels like we are coming full circle as an industry. We are using literally the oldest trick in the book, physical touch, tactile mechanics, to onboard people into the newest, most complex technology in the world.
It's extremely validating to see the data back up what we intuitively know about human psychology. The screen is a barrier, the capsule is a bridge.
The capsule is a bridge.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic way to put it. But I want to push this concept just one step further before we wrap up today. We spent the whole hour talking about gaming. We've been talking about digital swords and cosmetic skins and esports badges.
Right.
But this underlying technology, this offline secure distribution mechanism, it doesn't have to swamp at video games, does it?
Not at all. And that is where the implications get really provocative.
If the future of digital value is physical, what else could we distribute this way?
Think about recruitment and the job market.
Recruitment, how would that work?
Imagine you're at a massive university career fair. Usually, companies just hand out paper flyers that end up in the trash, or they have an iPad where you type in your email to join a mailing list. It's totally forgettable.
Yeah, you take the free pen and you walk away.
Exactly. But what if a major tech firm has a distributor at their booth? You talk to the recruiter, and they give you a custom token. You turn the knob, you get a capsule. Inside is a digital asset that grants you priority interview access.
Wow. Or maybe it's a smart contract for a guaranteed signing bonus if you pass the technical interview.
Exactly. You physically hold your spot in line. Or think about civic engagement and voting.
Okay, now that is a minefield, but let's go there.
A DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, or even a local municipality could put a mechanical distributor in a town hall. To get your verified voting credential, you have to physically show up to the venue and turn the knob.
Oh, wow. That instantly solves the Sybil attack problem for digital governance.
Exactly. A Sybil attack is when someone creates thousands of fake identities to overwhelm a voting system. But you cannot hack the election from halfway across the world if the credential requires you to physically turn a mechanical crank in a building in Des Moines.
It completely links the digital right to a physical reality. When you remove the friction of the screen, the possibilities for distributing access, identity, event tickets, credentials, it's basically endless.
It is. We've been conditioned to look at the physical world as the opposite of the digital world. We separate IRL from URL.
Right, real life versus online life.
But maybe we need to stop seeing them as enemies competing for our attention. Maybe the physical world with all its tactile reality is actually the digital world's most powerful onboarding tool.
I think you're absolutely right. It's about bridging the gap, not widening it. We're going to leave you to mull that over. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Next time you see a physical gotcha machine, maybe think about what the future holds. Turn a knob, claim your loot, and remember, sometimes the absolute best way to move forward into the digital future is to reach out and touch something real. We will catch you in the next one.
Stay curious.